Hi everybody, welcome back to AbFab. I hope you all had an amazing week this week. This video is dedicated to the top 5 makeup tips that I have learned since I've been on YouTube for the 40 plus group. So if you're interested in knowing what those 5 are, then please continue to watch. So without further ado, I'm going to start with tip number 1. This is the number 1 makeup tip, is prime, baby. So what I have learned from watching YouTube that I never knew before is that there's all kinds of facial primers and eyeshadow primers, and the idea of these are not just to kind of like, you know, level out sort of the playing field, if you will, which is your face. It's also to help like pore minimizing. Some of them are illuminating, and it basically gives you a clean, even slate to put your makeup on. So what I have been personally using, this is the Pore Professional Pore Minimizing Balm. For me, it's right here at the chin, on the nose, and just around, and then I put that on, and then I kind of just sort of let that set for a minute, and I continue then with doing the primer for my eyeshadow. So I use the Urban Decay. This is the eyeshadow primer potion. This is in the anti-aging formula. There's 4 different ones, so check out which ones that you like. Again, there's all different ways to prime your eyes. Well, since I'm doing that my makeup just stays in place. It always looks good. It doesn't need touch-ups throughout the day. And my eyeshadow, it's like double the length of my eyeshadow. It just goes nowhere. It's been absolutely wonderful. So if you're not using a primer for your face and a primer for your eyelids, I suggest you start, because it just makes a huge difference. And all of my makeup, including my foundations and my eyeshadows, are just lasting longer because I don't have to reapply them throughout the day. So tip number 2 is going to be the Beauty Blender. How you put on your makeup has made a huge difference. And in the past, when I was wearing any kind of foundations, I was usually putting it on with my fingers or one of those little wedge sponges that you can buy at the drugstore, or a brush. There's no problem with any of those techniques. It still applies the foundation. It still goes on nicely until you decide you're going to invest in the little Beauty Blender. This is the most unbelievable thing that I have used. Everybody was using it on YouTube. I thought to myself, what is the deal with this $28 makeup sponge? Because that's really what it is. It's a $28 makeup sponge. It seemed like a ridiculous amount of money to spend until I started using it, and then I thought, I can't live without this little sponge. Now there's a whole bunch of other sort of makers of these sponges. Just be careful. Some of them are actually quite stiff. That is the beauty, if I will coin it, of the Beauty Blender, is when you have wet it under the sink, you squeezed out all that water. It's just so soft on the skin, and when you use it damp, of course, it even takes up less product. Remember, if you're using a sponge to use a liquid foundation, your sponge might be soaking up that $50 foundation you just bought. So that's why I always use it damp. And the beauty of the blender is that when you put your foundation on with this, it basically mimics that your skin would normally look like. With a brush, you can't do that, because if you're putting in medium to full coverage with a brush, no matter how good you are, unless you're there for quite a while, blurring out the brush lines, at some point you're going to get brush strokes somewhere, and that could be embarrassing if you're at an event or in a work situation where people are a lot closer to your face. So I would suggest that you break down, you buy the $28 Beauty Blender. It is amazing little product when it's damp. If you take care of it, it will last like a good while. I've had mine since October. Anyways, I put all my foundation on, and then I just keep going over it so that I blur all the lines or the dots of the foundation, and it just gives you this flawless complexion. So basically, when people are close up to your face, it just looks like your natural skin. And then the pointed part I use when I'm putting on my concealer. So I basically just dab on my concealer, and then I sort of use this to blend the lines going back and forth, not in any one direction, and yeah, just putting it on and blending in my concealer, and it has made a huge difference. And you can also go one step further and just take a priming spray. This one I use the Fix It by MAC. It's the Prep and Prime. I just sort of spray that on my actual sponge, and then I use that as well to kind of just soften all of the under eye concealer. So again, it looks very natural. This is an amazing product. You pick yourself one up. This is tip number 2 on what I learned from YouTube, the Beauty Blender. Okay, so tip number 3 is it's all about the lips for me. Number 1, did you know lip liner does not have to match your lipstick color? So I just naturally thought whatever color you were wearing that you would just match up the lip liner to the lipstick color. Now you certainly can do that, but you don't have to. If you just want to have a couple of lip liners, then just at least one of them be very similar to the color of your natural lip pigmentation. So if you can find that, that works really great. I have this one by Annabelle. This is in the color Spice. Annabelle makes amazing, creamy, long-lasting lip liners. Most of my lipsticks are mattes and nudes, and so this works really well. And it's pretty close to my natural skin pigmentation on my lips. So what I have done in the past is I used to just, put my lip liner on, then put my lipstick, and, that would be it. But there's ways of kind of enhancing the lip real estate to make it look better. So now I put my lip liner on just very lightly. When you put on your lip liner, as you would just normally trace out, just go a little bit darker just in the corners here, because that will give actual depth to the bottom part of your lips. Now you can proceed by putting on your regular lipstick. So you would just put it on some, the usual way you'd put it on. Now when you have your lipstick on, just pierce your lips together really tightly until you kind of form a seal with both the upper and the lower lip. And what you're doing in essence is you're going to create sort of like a lipstick stamp, I like to call it. And then get your makeup mirror, put it on the magnified side, and look at where the lipstick went. How high did it go around the periphery of your lips? And then reline your lips by just going a hair wider than where that lipstick stamp went to. Okay, so go a tiny, tiny bit higher than where your actual lipstick went to. This is pretty funny because I'm doing it without a makeup mirror. And then the same for the bottom. And what that does is it sort of increases your lip real estate. So it's made it a little bit bigger, but you're not done. Now take a slightly lighter colored lipstick. So this one I happen to be using is like e.l.f. It's a lip cream pencil. And I go in just at the bottom with a lighter color, just in the center of the bottom, and just in the center by the Cupid's bow at the top. Make sure the lines are blended. And right away, it makes your lips appear fuller, thicker, plumper. But we're not done yet. One more little tip. Then you want to take a darker bronzer or a contour sort of color, and then you want to take that with a small little makeup brush, and right in the center of your bottom lip, you just want to take that contour powder or bronzer and put it at the bottom, creating a little shadow at the center bottom of your lip. And that makes it look like your bottom lip is so big it's actually creating a shadow. And that has what I've learned on how to do my lips, which is tip number 3, how to make them bigger and plumper thanks to YouTube. Tip number 4 is all about the contour. This is what I've learned. When you have fair skin like myself, I need some definition when I have put on my CC cream, like a color corrector, or my beauty balm, or my foundation, because it kind of whites everything out, makes everything the one color. I also want to define some of the features of my face. That would be my cheekbones and my nose, that sort of thing. So in order to do that, you need a little contouring, because you need to have some sort of abstract colors. It can't be all similar colors, because then you provide no depth to the structures of your face. So tip number 4, contouring. Get something that's really good, something that is linear like this NARS Ita Kabuki brush, and you want to get whatever is your contour color of choice. Go out, there's plenty of products for contouring in every sort of form, from creams to gels to pencils to pressed powders, whatever works best for you. The creams don't work so well, but the powders do, because they're very blendable. So I'm using a powder, and then you want to just sort of get it, and you want to just kind of put it along the longest part of your nose right here, because it just provides a little definition. So instead of someone looking at your face and all they're seeing is just kind of the one white color, you're providing some depth to your face. The actual bridge of the nose stands out, and it's good because now you can see a little definition to my face. And you can do the same, of course, over on the sides for your cheeks at a 45-degree angle from your hairline just to about underneath the apples of your cheeks. You want to come in and create a very carefully a soft kind of shadow, because that shadow will then kind of help to create more definition to your actual face. And then you want to do the same for your jawline, don't forget, because if you're like me, the 40+ group, things are starting to shift downwards with gravity. And if you're like me, you're going to lose definition of your jawline, because it sort of creates some more shadow along the jawline here by just coming down along, and the same on that side, and then just kind of blend down. And what that does is right away you can see it creates a little shadow here. So that's really helpful. And then because I have such a prominent forehead, I take a little of the actual contouring and I just contour up just by my hairline and kind of down onto the points of my forehead here, leaving the center of my face from contour, because you want that to kind of be the brighter part. So that is tip number 4 on how to refine and define the features of your face that I learned on YouTube for the 40+. Now, tip number 5 is, if you were contouring, now you have to do some highlighting and some strobing. So what is highlighting and strobing? I want to sort of bring forward the features of my face that I do want to be more noticed. So I'm going to take a little on this and just going to kind of highlight sort of the shape of my brow up here. You know, everything starts coming down when you're older, and you just want to kind of, you know, increase the real estate, make everything look more open, more alive. That's the idea. And then what I do is also highlighters, just like contours, come in all different forms. This is the Chubby Stick Sculpting Highlighting Illuminator, and this is in Hefty Highlight. And I love this one because it's so convenient. I can just kind of do a little sort of highlighting on my nose now. I can do it right at the Cupid's bow to kind of highlight that sort of definition in my lips. And then I can also take it and I can kind of just go along the high point of my cheeks here. And it's really nice because it's cream sort of consistency, and just kind of give a whole sort of other life to sort of my cheeks. And so then in the daytime, in the sunlight, it just sort of catches that and makes it all pop. You can even do a little on your chin if you're trying to bring attention down to make your face look more angular, a little bit longer, that sort of thing. So you can do all of those, and highlighting is a really great way to sort of freshen and open up your face. Now the strobing part of that is kind of taking highlighting to a whole other level. And strobing is kind of another makeup effect that is really big, has been for 2015, and continues to be for 2016. So I treated myself with this Hourglass. This is the Incandescent Strobe Lighting Powder. It's beautiful. Like I said, they come in 4 different shades. This is incandescent, so for me it really works because it is a cool sort of lighter color. There it is there on my fingers. It uses a photoluminescent technology when they milled this powder. And the idea of this powder, this strobing powder, is that you're going to put it on and it finds the ambient light, almost gives you a sort of a glow from inside. So you can take that one. The best way to apply it, really, if you're applying it to the high points of your cheeks, is with a fan brush from Joe Fresh at Superstore for like $12. Anyways, and you take a very small amount, and then you kind of just want to sort of really sort of highlight, again, the areas of your face that you want to bring a lot of attention to. It just freshens up tired skin and gives you that sort of internal glow about it. I absolutely love it. I am addicted to highlighting and strobing powders. So those are my 5 tips that I learned on YouTube about how to put on makeup better for the 40+ group. I hope that you liked this video. I really enjoyed doing it for you, and I hope you all have an amazing week. And please leave your comments down below, anything that you'd like me to review or some ideas for the 40+ group. Please let me know. I would love to chit chat. Take care, everybody, and have an amazing week. Bye for now.